Good morning and welcome to Book Club Corner, where every Wednesday we chat with local authors about their books, about the publishing industry, and how it's going locally for publishing. And today we have with us none other than Amelia Bruce. Welcome, Amelia.
Thank you for having me.
It's wonderful to have you here with us today. Amelia is a children's author and she has some things to talk about today. But before we get into that, let me just tell you that Amelia is a debut children's book author. She's the author of Shapes at the Well, and she's passionate about education and creativity. Amelia, when we look at children's books, they bring such a feeling of joy looking at the cover.
Yes.
And I loved that your cover really had that feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're gonna get into it, right? You know how we do it on Book Club Corner. We like to hang out and have a little snack and have a little drink and so on. Shapes at the Well, that's the book cover we have there. But before we get into that, we're just going to be having a little drink, a little snack. So I'm just letting you know, this is a great time for you to go get your drink on, get your snack on. I don't know what you'll be drinking. I'm having a commercial drink today, so we're not going to be telling you what it is, right? Because they're not sponsoring us. Not yet. But so giving you some time, go grab your drink, grab your snack, and come right back. And when you come back to Book Club Corner, right here on Tobago Updates, we'll be chatting with the amazing Amelia Bruce from right here in Mariah. See you in a few minutes.
Welcome to the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival on April 19th, 2025. We invite you to an evening of smooth rhythms and soulful music as the sun dips behind Buku Bay. Let all your senses be tantalized. Enjoy an array of seafood dishes, browse crafts and designs created by local artisans, and lose yourself in the soulful melodies of John Sakata, Brian McKnight,
It's undeniable that we should be together.
Bonnet Bigford,
When the lightning quicker the waters and the waves roll and break.
Mikal Tasia,
Where else I go, without you, my side.
and the best of Tobago's talent. Get your physical tickets now. Tickets are also available online at islandetickets.com. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info or call 639-4441. The Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, April 19th at Buku Integrated Facility. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
The premier red carpet extravaganza. Tobago Fashion Coda is back with a bang, bringing with it quintessential style where runway meets rhythm. Come see the icons of Caribbean couture, showcasing the trailblazing fashions of Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago Fashion Coda 7 promises an unforgettable experience on the 18th of April 2025 at Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, a premium all-inclusive fashion soiree where runway meets rhythm. It's the premier red carpet extravaganza. Tobago Fashion Coda is back with a bang, bringing with it quintessential style where runway meets rhythm. Come see the icons of Caribbean couture, showcasing the trailblazing fashions of Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago Fashion Coda 7 promises an unforgettable experience on the 18th of April 2025 at Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, a premium all-inclusive fashion soiree where runway meets rhythm.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Welcome back to Book Club Corner, where every Wednesday we chat with authors, publishers, and even book marketing persons like myself. I am Jewel Green, and I am your host for Book Club Corner every Wednesday. And we are chatting today with Amelia Bruce, a children's book author. Amelia, tell us about your book. Tell us about the journey. What made you want to become a children's book author, or was it by accident?
It was not at all. So I have a love for education, particularly with preschoolers, because it allows me to be most creative. Because apart from education, I am very, very creative. And I noticed that sometimes when you call children to come and do schoolwork, they would be a bit disappointed. And I wanted to do things that would create a more positive reaction to when you say, come on, let's do some work. Let's create more positive work or tools so that when we call them, they have more positive reactions to it so that they are able to come back and say, yes, mommy, I want to do some work today. Yeah, and so with that, I decided that, you know what? Let me create some things. Let me make a difference.
So this children's book called Shapes at the Well, and we have your book cover. Tell us how that came about, because I love that the book cover is so brightly colored. It literally, when you see it, you want to be like what is this? What's happening here? So tell me about your choice of the book cover. How did that evolve?
Well, I knew what I wanted to get out of my audience. I know that I wanted to capture their attention. And understanding children is understanding that they also react to colors. And so I knew that I needed to execute that in a way that when they see the book, immediately they would be amazed. They would want to know what comes with this book. What else can I get from this book? And so I made sure that I used vibrant colors so that, you know, it looks attractive enough and it executes the message that is within it.
And what is the message within it that you want the children to get?
The message within, well, it has multiple messages. And one of the most outstanding messages that I've even received from viewers is the differences in the shapes. Now, the book talks about 6 shapes, and in this book, they can't play together. And so what the girl does is help them play. So she helps them to understand why they are so different. And in that, they have to understand that we have to use different strategies so that we can work together. And it was played out in such a way that it could also be related to people, because we are obviously always, we are not going to be the same. And you have to also find ways how to communicate or do whatever it may be with others. And so that was the biggest thing for me. Apart from teaching about the shapes, I wanted them to also understand that people are also different. And we also have to find different ways to work together.
I like how you know, that juxtaposition between people and shapes in terms of differences. Do you feel like this is a message that the children pick up easily because of that correlation between, so they can see, you know, how shapes are different, and then they get that message, you know, people are also different? Is that something they pick up easily from the book?
Well, when I read the story, and even when I sell the book, I also speak about this. The intention that they would also bring across the message. On Monday, I went to a school and I read the book and I made sure and include that. I told them, so you see, the shapes are different and we are also different, and we must always find ways to be kind and play with one another. So it's always good that even though you read it within the book, that you also elaborate on that message for them, just in case they haven't picked it up. But as I said, I also make mention to it with my staff or with the buyers so that they can know, well, hey, there's more to this book, and that they can make sure to share that information with the young viewers so that they too understand.
Right.
You know, repetition is key. So once you
Yes.
continue repeating that with them, they would understand. And it's good for them to have it at a young age as well.
That's right. What I really love about your book, and I have a question, because it has some very pretty colors, and
Yes.
I'm using the word pretty because, you know, we always as females, little girls, and you know, we love a pretty color.
Yes.
You know, and I think the boys like, you know, bright colors, but this book has a lot of feminine colors to it.
Yeah.
The pinks and this kind of peachy color that you have here. She has on a rainbow dress and the, you know, the yellows and so. Does this book attract more female little girls than little boys?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I have been told that many times. And with that being said, I'm also working on creating more gender neutral books because it was inspired by my daughter. So hence it more
Yes.
resembles a girl.
Well, nothing is wrong with that. I mean, I mean, in your case, it wasn't intentional, but that's how it turned out.
Yes.
But when we look at it, you know, that is something authors can consider as well. When you're doing your cover, am I targeting, you know, if it's children, am I targeting more girls and
Yes.
boys? Who is the audience, and therefore
Exactly.
what the cover should do to attract them? So if you were doing this for boys, what would you do differently in terms of the colors and how it's laid out?
Well, I would have most definitely used a boy, and the colors would have been different. So in the front of the book, you can see more pink, peachy, as we said. So that color would have changed as well. And even in terms of the flowering, it might have changed based on the type of flower, just to give it a different effect. It might not have been, might have shown a little bit of more, more green plants, different
yes.
shades or more fruit. So something else that would give it a different energy because it really does have a lot of feminine energy coming from it.
You know, as we're sitting here talking about this, you know, coming out of International Women's Day, when we're looking at gender roles and gender issues, you know, yes, I know I may be beating at the drum, but are we in society doing a good job of making sure, because we want to have this conversation when they get older, in terms of them being able to flex, as we say, between the two, what society thinks should be male or female in terms of roles. But are we doing a good job getting them there from young? In terms of, so you see what I'm saying, in terms of, so the girls are being attracted to the books because we're socializing them like that, and the boys are not. But when they get older now we want to see boys could wash wares too, and boys could sweep, and girls could drive trucks, and girls could be construction workers. But are we doing that when they're young?
I guess it's not something that we probably pay attention to much.
Yes.
You know, as they get older and you become your own person, you start to decide what is more gender appropriate for yourself. You know, what is more
Yes.
masculine, what is more feminine. You know, I think it becomes a bit more personal as you grow older. You know, the parent would tend to decide for you more so, because when you're young and you're exploring, you're not going to really pay attention to what may be girly up until they reach a certain age.
What we call girly or boyish, right?
Exactly.
Because
Because
that itself could change,
I have had interest with students where I read at the library recently with a little child, and it was a boy. And he was absolutely interested in it. The remarks of it being girly actually comes from adults where they think that it's too girly. So the boys actually think that it's okay because they're seeing colors and it looks attractive. Yeah, so it's really just based on what the parent thinks at the time, and then as we grow, you know, we tend to have our own understanding, etc.
Yeah. You bring up some really good points today in terms of what the parents are looking at as well. And I guess, you know, if authors are being honest and we do want to sell books, you know, thinking about what would attract the parent as well. You want the children to want your stuff, right?
But it's also up to the parents.
But yeah, you want the parents to feel like this is a gender appropriate material for their child, and perhaps whatever they want the child to be focusing on, you know. We were talking earlier about how children purchase. Because I've had many people look at me when I talk about this and say, children don't have money. Purchase of what? They can't purchase anything. And I'm like, oh.
Yes, they can.
You think parents buy salt prunes and blue chubbies for children because they think it's good for their health? Yeah, and so the choices that we are putting on the books, in terms of your choice, I mean, a little girl sees this book, she can, you know, that is a must buy.
Yeah.
I must have it, right? And do you feel or get that feedback from the children, the parents, you know, my child, oh gosh, she study well, she harassing me, I have to get a book for her. That kind of, oh, I have to get a book for him. Is that something that you're seeing the children gravitating to and therefore influencing their parents to purchase your book?
Well, I've had an experience. So my book is on Amazon because it went up with KDP. That was the process that I went through. And with that, it's available in the US. My aunt is out there and she promotes my book, so sometimes I get sales out there.
Yes.
And one of the things that I would have heard out there is that when she went around and showing people, and she showed a friend that had the child at the time, and she was so excited. Wow, mommy, this book looks amazing. Yeah, and so with that, she looked at the book and she decided, you know what, this looks like a good book. Let me purchase.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see, parents, I'm telling you, children purchase. They don't have money, right? But they have this. And you see these two eyes they have that they start the waterworks, right?
Yes.
I have to get it. How can you say? Sometimes you want to say no, but sometimes you're like, I'm too tired for this.
Just give it.
Yeah, just get it because I'm too tired today. But you know, children purchase like that. They have their instincts and they tell their parents what to get for them.
Yes.
It's unfortunate, this story I'm going to tell, but I was in the supermarket the other day and there was this, listen, he was so chubby and cute. And I don't know what he asked for, but all I said, no, they said, no, not today. And in 2 seconds flat, he was rolling on the ground.
Oh my. Oh my.
And he was chubby, right? So yeah, good luck getting him off the ground. Yeah, they just rolled away. Okay, fine, we're gone.
Because they don't want to handle
He jumped up and ran behind them. You know, I'm just saying that to say we have children being able to indicate to the parents what they want, and we also have the parents have their choice as well.
Yes.
But don't forget, authors, when you're doing your book covers and you're looking at the inside, don't forget that the parents may be also looking at it, but you want the children to want your book. Right, you want the children to feel like this is a book I must have. I have to have this toy because we're doing branding now with books. You're not just selling a book, you're selling plush toys and you're selling all sorts of things with it, right? And I know people make snacks and stuff to go with the books depending on what. Yeah, I have this author, so her book is called Clever, Chrissy and the Mango Stories. So every time she tells her story, she has mangoes and stuff.
Wow.
And she doing, you know, you could add the preserved mangoes and the fresh mangoes. Yeah, so the children get snacks and stuff when she does her
marketing strategy.
Yes, listen. She's like, they're ready to eat and she hasn't even told her story yet. But it's a nice strategy, you know, marrying your book with different merchandise.
Yes.
It depends on what it is. But yeah, we're going on a quick break. I'm here with Amelia Bruce from Mariah, and she has a book called Shapes at the Well. But we're going on a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk to Amelia about her publishing process from right here in Tobago.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. to them once again. They better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show.
You've heard a voice on the radio, seen her in your worship, and have sung her songs during your time of praise. Sinesh.
Everybody now, let's go!
Sinesh comes to Tobago for Melodies from Heaven on April 17th. The Shore Park Complex alights with praise and worship from 6 p.m. for Melodies from Heaven featuring Sinesh.
I shall not want the Lord has
Samuel Maydess.
I can't be the only one who's excited to call your name.
Positive.
Me never could have changed my mind.
Blessed Messenger.
Give blood of Jesus over your family.
Renee Fortune and many more.
from my head to my feet.
Get your physical tickets now. Tickets are also available online at islandetickets.com. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info or call 639-4441. April 17th at Shore Park Complex. Melodies from Heaven. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
And welcome back to Book Club Corner. I'm your host, Jewel Green, and we're chatting with the beautiful Amelia Bruce from right here in Mariah about her book, Shapes at the Well. Listen, Amelia, this publishing process, tell us about your journey. Was it hard? You find it was super easy. You had all the information. Tell us about how it is and how it went for you.
Well, for me, when I started this journey, I did not know anything. I just knew I wanted to create a book.
Yeah.
In fact, this was not even the first book I was working on.
Okay.
This story was inspired while I was doing a course. I did a course with a lady from Trinidad. Her name is Miss Leslie Andrew.
Yes.
And she teaches person how to create their own book and publish it themselves. And I took that course, and within the process, I was so inspired. I said, you know what? I want to do a storybook, and I must include some educational items into this. And that same night, it would have been the first class. And that same night, I started with a book and a pen, and I started to write. I just started writing and writing. And by the end of the class, with all the knowledge that she gave, bit by bit, I started putting it together. She gave me everything that I need. So I wasn't really falling short in anything. It was just a matter of me to put together the words and think of the illustration, think of what I really want the viewers to get out of it. But for me, I would say, you know, there would be challenging times where you may feel somewhat stuck. And it's just for you to push through it, you know. There were times where I felt like I'm not getting what I want in terms of the background. I know I want something extravagant or something beautiful. But I'm not finding something that's satisfying me. And it took a while. I took a break. I came back to it again. And then it came to me and I said, yes, this is it.
So what led you to AI? Because, you know, you told me this before, but what led you to that? And what would you say about the use of AI in the creative process for literary creatives?
Well, within the course, she also gave us the apps that we can use. So the idea of the AI came from her. So as I said, everything was literally in the package. It's just for you to open it and use it. And where the AI is concerned, it's very easy to use, and it's just a matter of being very precise. If you want to create something, you just have to go into full detail as to what you want, and it's very, very effective, I would say. Yeah, it's just a matter of putting it exactly how you want. You may have a bit of trouble. You may have to reload it to get what you want. It may not, it may satisfy you, but you may want more, and it's just a matter to just be continuous. Continue going at it, continue going at it. Eventually, you would get what you need.
So tell me, in terms of, again, AI and the use of it, how do you navigate the copyright for those images. One author I talked to her about it, and she was saying, but what AI is only giving me what I asked for. So it's my work still. How do you feel about that? And perhaps even about authors using AI in their work?
Well, for some of the apps, really and truly, when you do start using it with it, if it is that you decide that you want to stop using it for a period of time, because you have to pay for them, they actually take back some of the stuff that you have created with it. So where that is concerned, it's really you making that decision. Do I want to use this app? Yeah. So it's really just for you to come to that decision. It's I have benefited off of it, and in my opinion, I've already gotten my gain. So it doesn't particularly bother me. I just know that I'm going there to execute what I want.
Right.
And so once that comes together for me, I am okay with it. Yeah.
I think AI has its place.
It does.
In not just the creative process, but in a lot of areas. They're also using AI in surgery now as well.
Yes.
So I think AI does have, that artificial intelligence does have its uses. I think for authors and creators, where we're trying to navigate is how and if we copyright those AI images, in terms of, do we own them now? Because you're saying, if you don't use them, some of the apps, they take them back.
They now own it as well.
Oh, exactly.
But you can still get access to it. It's just that after you've left, they will now have access to the images that you generated.
Yeah. I see. Amelia, girl, let me tell you, I tried that AI thing. It was a free site. And when I finished generating some of the images, some of them had 6 fingers.
All right.
Some had ears where they shouldn't be.
Wow.
I was like, what is this?
I think it's because it was free. Maybe you needed to pay for it.
Yeah, I think they did it on purpose. So I was like, oh, you like freeness?
Yeah, because I've never encountered any of those problems.
So one of the images, like the hands were crossed like this, and when I do check properly, it had a second hand coming from the back, hugging them up.
Oh my.
It's like, I didn't recognize it at first.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow.
So you have to be careful with these AI free. Yeah, yes, authors. Some are free, but be careful with them. Check them properly, right? Don't use the 6 finger. Unless, of course, your image needs to have a 6 finger, right? I don't know. Because, we do have people being born with, the little extra finger. Maybe it's that you're doing. Yeah. So if that's what you're doing, kudos for you, but it didn't work out so hot for me, girl. People, we're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be talking about Amelia's marketing process, as well as how she published her book. So don't go far. Get your drink and your snack, because I know you ate out all your gummies. I know you ate out all your biscuits. Get some snacks and come right back here to Book Club Corner.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Oh, baby.
On Easter weekend 2025, Tobago is the place to be. From April 17th to 20th, the rhythm, the soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with melodies from heaven. Melodies from heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
It's the premier red carpet extravaganza. Tobago Fashion Coda is back with a bang, bringing with it quintessential style where runway meets rhythm. Come see the icons of Caribbean couture, showcasing the trailblazing fashions of Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago Fashion Coda 7 promises an unforgettable experience on the 18th of April 2025 at Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, a premium all-inclusive fashion soiree where runway meets rhythm.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more.
Again, welcome back to Book Club Corner, a lovely Wednesday in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago, and we're chatting here with Amelia Bruce, debut children's book author from right about here, as they like to say in Barbados, right? She is a wee gal, as they say, in Tobago, and we're so happy to have her, so proud of her work. Amelia, tell us about your marketing process. You're first-time author.
Yes.
How did you feel when you clicked publish, and what did you do after that?
I was really nervous.
Yeah.
Clicked publish and I said, wonder if I check everything properly, boy. Because now you know this book is coming. So I'm considering to myself, did I make sure everything is okay? So I was really nervous.
Yeah.
And when the book finally came, I said, wow, I did this.
Yes.
I created this. So it was really an anxious
cheers
process.
to you. We have to celebrate the wins. Cheers to you. First time author. So you first published, you had your nervous butterflies, and then you realized, you did such an excellent job. Now what?
Now it's time to get this book out.
Yes.
Now it's time for this book to be seen. Now it's time for this book to educate. Yeah. So I decided, okay, I know I published a book to serve children. It's to educate children. How do I get to these children? Parents, school. And because it teaches you about the shapes, the size and everything, one of my main targets are preschools. So currently I'm going to preschool every week. There's not a week that passes by and I don't visit a school. So currently there are certain preschools that actually has my book right now. And as I said, on Monday I went to a school and I read for a classroom, and it was really nice. Yeah, I really enjoy doing the in-person meeting and you're talking with them. I really enjoy it. apart from that.
So that's one of the ways you're marketing the book and pushing it.
Yes.
What has been the response?
It has been great. It really brings a warmness, a very, very warm feeling over your heart when you meet someone and they start expressing how great your book is.
Yes.
Because then I am sitting, after we finish talking, I go back to my car, I'm sitting, I'm like, wow, this person loves my book.
Yeah.
They see it for what it is. They can get the message within it. Especially when it's coming from experienced persons like principals, when they give me great remarks, it really feels good. I sitting down and I'm thinking to myself, I said, yes, Amelia, you did it. You created something that was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me, when are you going to be leaving the shores of Tobago to continue promoting this book? What's happening?
Well, I don't want to go to Trinidad to also promote it over here because really and truly it's only Tobago.
Yes.
And it is being sold in the US because of KDP. But right now, for sure, I know I want to go to Trinidad and get it into the preschools over there as well because I haven't had much audience from Trinidad. But definitely, it's being known in Tobago.
Very good.
And I'm also going to Trinidad very soon. I'm expected at the NALIS program, First Time Authors.
Yes.
So I'm very excited for that. So I'm hoping to, kill two birds with one stone and visit some schools while I'm there.
Very good. Listen, I want to shout out NALIS, our good friends to Book Club Corner at the library here in Scarborough and the library in Port of Spain. NALIS has every year a first-time authors appreciation program, and we will be exhibiting books for the second time, only the second time. In Tobago, there's going to be a book exhibition. Usually it's in Trinidad. The whole program is in Trinidad, and it's going to be for the second time in the entire lifespan of this appreciation program in Tobago. So you can look out for that. And they should be here. The book should be here in May. But when are you going to receive your award from NALIS?
I am not sure.
So it's not next month?
It is next month.
Okay, just the date you're not sure about. So next month, that's April. Okay, very good. So, listen, authors, don't miss out on this award, Unfortunately, sometimes this is the only award some people will get. I'm not throwing water on your parade. I'm just saying, if you're gonna get an award, this is a good place to start. Encourage yourself, and you've done quite a lot of work. So I would say, don't forget to sign up for that. And if you wrote the book in 1 year, apply and you would get the award the next year. So you're getting your award this year for 2024. Okay, very good. So now good job. We can't wait to see you here in Tobago for that book exhibition in May. And congratulations to all the 2024 first-time authors. Amelia, I want to talk about something people don't want to talk about a lot when they're writing books.
Okay.
And when they're publishing a book and marketing a book. Have you had a hard time getting it into bookstores on your own? How is that process working out for you?
Well, recently I've been venturing off getting it into the bookstores, and thus far I've actually had great remarks because they tend to gravitate to the book when they see it. Yeah, the only thing that they may say is that, given that when you write a book yourself, it tends to be more costly than an average book because it's in bulk. And that may be the only challenge where getting a customer is concerned, getting it sold. But apart from that, I haven't had any challenges where the bookstores are concerned. I'm actually working on getting it into a particular bookstore in Tobago here. It's supposed to be there before the week is finished.
Very good.
That would be books and office supplies at the TLHA building.
Yes,
I'm very excited for that.
Our good friend Natalie, hi Natalie, at Books and Office Supplies. I think when people are looking at local books, we do have a lot of competition. And you're saying that while there's competition, the bookstores are being very gracious and taking the book. How are your sales going?
Outside of...
However you do your sales, because you alone would know, but how is your sales going in terms of your expectation of what it should be, and what is the reality of it?
Well, at first it was not going well. I was having a very difficult time getting it sold, getting it seen. And I had to step away and make new decisions. So at first I was employed and I decided to just go full on entrepreneurship. And with that, I was able to put in more time to actually visit schools, to interact with parents, because even as I'm visiting schools, I'm meeting people on the road and I'm going to stop them and say, hi, my name is Amelia. And we got on the road and I make a sale right there. So it has been going well. It had its challenges in the beginning, but I really feel like it was like that because I wasn't able to put in the time. So it's like a baby. I had to really nurture it. I created a baby and it was time for me to give it some more love. And since I started to give it that more love, I've been receiving the sales. So it has been going really well, I would say.
So you had to become a stay-at-home mom.
I had to. Well, the book is paying me.
Yes.
It is paying me. And because I'm also working on other items, eventually that would also add to the income.
I love that. Authors, you heard it from Amelia. Put in the work to market your book and you will get your book sold. You know, sometimes I feel authors think once, you know, I've written the book, everybody knows about my book now.
No.
I'm gonna sell hundreds, thousands of books. You have to do the work.
You have to do the work. It would literally stay consistent. You would have a consistent flow of income if you really put in that work. If you said, you know what, maybe someone would see, it would not work like that. You really have to go out there. You have to let everyone see you. You know, as one of my persons that I look up to, one of my role models is the same Leslie Ann Jerome, and she always say you have to make noise. You have to make noise so that your items are being known. You know, and that was my strategy. I started to think of how
for that, Leslie.
How can I make more noise? How? And you know, that's what I did.
Yes. When we talk about this publishing process, I think a lot of authors don't realize that after that there's the marketing. You have to get the books out. And I love that you're putting the effort in. And you're doing the work to make sure that you get visibility for your book. When we look at, you know, talking about visibility and the work and how much work you have to put in, and that you went from being employed by others to being employed by yourself, to employing yourself. Do you feel that the fact that you're not able to rely on an income steadily coming from somebody else, that you have, you know, it kind of lit a fire underneath you, listen, I gotta make this happen. Do you feel that perhaps has given you the extra zoom, the extra boost that you needed?
Definitely, definitely, because, you know, we have a life. I am a mother and I have a vehicle, and I know that this is my passion, and yes, I want to pursue it, but I also have to make ends meet. And I trust myself. I am fully in 100% with my items that I create. This shapes that well, I believe in it. I believe that this idea came to me for a reason. And I said, you know what, I'm trusting myself and I'm going all in. I expect it to work out. And it's not that I'm unsure. I expect it to work out. It has to work out. And you know, I just continue pushing each day. You have to.
I love that you're doing this work, and we have a photo here of you and 2 children. You're reading to them. I love this photo of you pushing your book, marketing your book, reading to the children. Listen, they look so happy. I love this photo. So you did a photo shoot to push your book onto authors. Take a page from Amelia's book. Look at how she, not a literal book, right? Don't take all the pages, but take some examples of what Amelia is doing, and you push your book to make sure that you're able to gain the visibility that you need for persons to know your book exists. And tell people, you know, I know one author, she told me she was hiding from Google so she doesn't do anything.
What?
Yeah.
You can't hide. Let the world know.
Exactly. I said, no, how, you know, hiding from Google with and she had 7 books. I said, hiding from Google with 7 books?
No. You need to let the world know.
Exactly.
Speak as loud as you can. Go on the mountain and shout.
Listen, you heard it from Amelia. Go on the mountain and shout about your work.
Yes, because I mean, I feel like it starts at being proud of your work. When you really start to value the work that you've done, when you really look at what you have created and say, yes, you know what? I really did a great thing here, and I need to share this with the world.
I love that. You know, we want to go into the green room every time we have a club corner. We try to share information with authors, whether they come straight from the other authors or from, my knowledge. But we're going into the green room where we share insights with authors. And today we're going to be talking about the various types of books. And we have the flash fiction, that's 1 to 4 pages, short stories, 3 to 30 pages. We have what's called a chapbook, that's 15 to 30 pages, a novelette, 40 to 80 pages, a novella, 60 to 120 pages, and a novel, which is usually in the range of 300 to 400 pages. And we look at those categories because when people write books, sometimes you don't know exactly where they'll fit in. But happily, children's books vary so widely, because you can write a book for children and they don't fall into any of these categories, because I really love that. And it depends on the age group that you're targeting. So people out there, if you're looking to write a book, and I put this information together because a friend of mine, she messaged me and she said, I'm going to be writing a book soon. I think I'll need your help. So I just, gave her a little boost. What do you think you might be looking to write? And just saying to authors, if you're writing a book, look at these categories, because sometimes you go to a publisher and they don't do novellas, they don't do novels, they don't do chapbooks. It really depends sometimes. So know what you have in your hand and figure out who may be the best publisher or the best help. Maybe you're doing it yourself, where you can get the best help for your book. Amelia, before we go, tell us one thing you want to share with authors, self-published authors, in terms of the work they're doing. Tell me, what advice would you give to an author, first-time author, looking to do a children's book from your experience?
I would say every day won't be the same. You can be inspired today and you know what you want, and on your journey with the illustration, especially based on what you're looking for. Sometimes you're gonna have challenging times, but you have to remind yourself of the goal. Always have a goal, so that when you have those challenging times, you can look back on that goal. It's gonna remind you why you started in the first place. You push through and you get the job done. Because at the end, you're gonna look back and say, I had a little stumbling block, but I overcame it.
Yes.
And now look at this product. I am proud of myself. Yeah.
What motivated you when you got those stumbling blocks, as you put it?
The fact that I wanted to see the finished product. I wanted to see the possibility of the shapes at the well.
Yeah.
I knew that it was a great idea. I knew that I wanted to do something that reflected who I am, because I'm very creative and I love the children education. I wanted something to be my own. So I said that I have to push through, I have to get it. I have to make it work. And it was also a part of building myself, building consistency and overcoming. Because sometimes it can be discouraging, especially if you've been at a particular part in the story for a while and you haven't been able to go forward. But teaching yourself to push through difficult times, it does good for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
People, we're having the most amazing conversation here with Amelia Bruce. But before we go, you know how we have to get our read aloud session in, and Amelia is going to be reading to us. I'm going to get comfy. Amelia, get ready, girl. And you don't read everything to them, eh?
Okay.
Let them go and buy the book.
Okay, no problem.
Right? Leave something.
I would indeed.
So let's get on with it.
Okay, so we know that the book is called Shapes at the Well. So the book starts. Zari loves the wishing well, and she is ready to make a new wish. She throws a coin and says, I wish to help someone new today, and runs off. Poof! What was that? She said, looking back. Give them a little sneak peek. Zari, we need your help, the shapes shouted. A star, a square, and a circle, she said slowly. I will help you, she said as she stretched out her hand. Give them one more page.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll show them the last
yes.
page. Yes. And this is a transition. We hear poof.
Yeah.
And Zari's on her way to the Shapes land. So if you're interested, you can purchase and see what that Shapes land
exactly.
looks like.
I love how large Zari size she does, and my girl is scared. She looks properly well scared. She like, what is that?
Yes.
Yeah, I love the expression.
Yes.
When you were using the app to generate the images, how specific did you have to get?
Very, very specific. So if, for example, I can't, if it is that I want a girl that has color, you know, she's a brown skin girl, I have to make sure and put the tone of color. So I put caramel to get this particular tone. If you just say a black girl, they're going to give you a very black girl.
Yes.
So you have to be very,
want variation.
Yes. You have to be very specific to the T. But as you use it, you would realize that, okay, I need to go back and just put something else with this, you know. If you want a curly hair, you have to say kinky, or, you know, you have to be very specific.
Yeah.
Go into full detail.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, before we go, tell the viewers where they can get your book and exactly where you're heading in terms of the bookstores, where perhaps by the end of the week they'll be able to get your book, whether in Tobago and in Trinidad, and perhaps how soon in Trinidad.
For Tobago, you can purchase my book very soon. It's not there as yet, so it'll be available very soon in the bookstore called Books and Office Supplies, right by the TLHE building. It would be available there. And apart from that, I advertise my business on Instagram. So if you have my contact, if you check the business page, you can get my contact, or you could also message me, and I can meet you in person as well.
And what's the handle on Instagram?
Happy Learners with Amelia. That's my business name. So once you go there, there's everything available there that you can contact me with, and you'll be able to, we can meet up and we can purchase a book.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Do you have an email address or number you can leave with them?
I do. So my email address is happylearners. I don't remember, you know.
We're going to put it up. Give them the number, man, and leave it.
The number is 676888487. That's my business number. Yeah?
You tell them it one more time.
7688487.
And when we upload this to YouTube, we'll add your email address to it as well.
Okay.
So that people can get. So don't worry, people. She had some brain fog with the email address. It happens. But we're going to make sure we share all her information so you can get your copy of the book directly from her. Or you can check Books and Office Supply in the very near future right here in the TLH Mall to get your copy of Amelia's book. Amelia, it was very nice having you here with us. We won't tell the public what just happened, right? It was very nice having you here with us.
It was nice being here.
I love your book. I am so proud of you. This is the first time we're meeting, but I'm very proud of you, especially as a Caribbean person, as a woman, and as a person straight out of Tobago.
Yes.
You published a book. Let me tell you, I want that book everywhere in Tobago.
Yes.
I don't want one person in Tobago to be able to say, what? I never see that book yet. I want them to be sick of you.
Yes. Yes, they must see it everywhere.
Exactly. Listen, next is a billboard, right?
Definitely.
Listen, cheers to you, Amelia. Thank you for being here with us today on Book Club Corner. And wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.
In terms of your other books, because this is the first of many.
Yes, it is.
And authors out there, please take encouragement and motivation from Amelia. This is her first book of many, and you too can have the first of your many books. But you have to write that first one, okay? You have to get over the hump, as they say in the lotto. You can't win unless you buy a ticket, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can't be an author unless you publish a book. So get cracking, right? Keep reaching for the stars. Check us out next week as we talk to another local author about their book. And don't forget, you have a story worth telling, and you need to tell it. We'll see you next week right here on the Club Corner.